Hello everyone, welcome back to today's video. Now in this video, I'm going to be going over another card trick and the second to last deck review. So that means we have 4 deck reviews, we have done 2 of them, and so we have 2 left. Now how I'm going to be doing this video is how I did it in the last video. I will do the performance of the trick first, and then I will do the deck review. Now during the deck review, this is a good time for you to look at the deck and then also try to figure out the trick if you can. And then at the end, you will see if your guess is right. So without further ado, let's get into the performance of the trick. Now the deck I'm going to be using are the Bicycle 1885s, which I already reviewed in my last video. So make sure you check that one out. So without further ado, let's get into this trick. So the deck can be totally shuffled, and all I'm going to do is take out a helper card to help me. So let's say I take out my favorite, King of Hearts. We're going to leave him right there. Now I would hand the deck back over to the spectator, and they can shuffle it up. After they're done giving their deck a shuffle, they would take out any 2 cards they would like. Now, normally in a performance like this, I wouldn't look at the cards, but because I don't have a spectator, I will look at them with you. So in this case, we have the 3 of clubs and the 7 of spades. Keep in mind, normally I wouldn't. So we're going to take your first card, the 3 of clubs, and we're going to put it somewhere in the middle of the deck and lose it in. And maybe give this a shuffle. Now we're going to take your second card, the 7 of spades, place him on top and lose him in too. So now both cards are totally lost into the deck. And we'll follow up with a cut. So now I would hand my card over to the spectator and have the spectator check out the king and make sure it's a normal card. And they would say it is. So I would say, okay, watch. My king here can actually turn into your selections. So if I take the king, I go 1, 2, 3. You can see the first selection is the 7 of spades. Or that was actually the second selection, but still found one of your selections. Now the 7 of spades can actually turn into your other selection, the 3 of clubs. And if we take the 3 of clubs and we put the 3 right through the deck and swipe it, it turns right back into the King of Hearts. That is the trick. Now, I'm going to give you guys some time to figure that out because we're going to be going into the deck review now. So, the next deck I'm going to be reviewing is the Bicycle Capital deck. So let's get into this deck. So as you can see on top, it says Bicycle, then it says Capital, and it says Playing Cards. Now, the Capital is gold, the playing cards are white along with Bicycle, but the Capital is actually embossed or raised, and also the Capitol building is a little embossed or raised. Okay, just this top part here, and this low part too actually. Then you have a dark, looks like blue or black background. You have a little gold border, and this is just the front of the box. Now on the top of the box, you have this. On the sides, you have air cushion finish, made in the USA. On the other side, you have the United States Playing Card Company. And then on the bottom, you have barcodes and everything. And this is the back of the box. So you can see it's the Capitol building, and it's gold with that black background, but it's not embossed or raised any. Okay, so this is the box, and you can see how it's the same color as the front, right on the sides here. Now if we open up this flap, you will see it's totally white, and it's white here, and then it's white on the tuck flaps. Now keep in mind, I have already used this deck, so it's not in order, but you can see the cards. So the first thing you're going to get when you have this deck is this bicycle ad card. So it just talks about their website, and you can play some games and everything like that. The back of it says this. Okay, so you can pause the video and you can read these. Now, the next card you're going to get, actually, let's go over the back design real quick, because you can see that. Now, it actually matches the box, if you look. Okay, so the back of the box is this back design. So you can compare those. Now, this card right here is actually a card that just talks about the cards themselves and what they have and what they come with and everything like that. So, hold this up and you can pause the video and read that. Now, the two jokers look like this. So it's the Capitol building, but it's in like a dark grayish to black with a big white background. And then you have the same thing except it's gold. So these are not identical, but they are in terms of artwork and everything. Because I don't see any reveals on these one bit. So are they identical? Not exactly, but good enough. So that's everything you're going to get. Now I'm just going to run through these cards real quick. You can pause the video at each card and see what they are. But essentially, here's all the cards. So here's the Ace of Spades. You can see how decorated that is. So that's a lot of stuff in the Ace right there. So let's just run through these and you can see them. So the pips are a lot fatter. And the reds are darker in case you can't tell. But these are the cards. So bicycle standard except when you get to the quartz. So the quartz are sort of the same. The designs might be different and the colors are definitely different. So you can pause on the special cards. These other cards have nothing that's interesting to look at. So here's the Jack of Diamonds, Queen of Diamonds, King of Diamonds. So, as you can see, they're basically bicycle standard. They're just a little different, but not too different. Now, if you want full reviews on any of these decks in depth, let me know and I will do that for you. So, as you can see, not that bad. And the stock is really good, too. Nice and snappy. So here's the Jack. Here's that Ace, so it's darker for the red. Here's the Ace of Diamonds. So the King of Spades. Now look at the Queen of Spades. She isn't holding that thing in her hand she usually has. So that's something different right there too. So those were all of the cards. Now I will do one quick spread and then we will get into the tutorial here. So here's the spread. You can see that nice white and that black and then the gold peeking out a little. So these were the cards. And of course, as you can see, no double backers, no double facers, nothing to that sort. So, these were the Bicycle Capital playing cards. let's get into the tutorial now for the trick. Now, I saw this trick from Disturb Reality. It's called Joker's Wild. So, here's how you're going to do the trick. So the first thing you're going to need is a card you're going to use as your helper card. Doesn't matter if you have a Joker, a King, a Jack. Doesn't matter. Not even the spectator could say a card if they want to. You're just going to need a helper card of some sort, and you're going to leave that to the side. Now the deck can totally get shuffled, and that's the good thing about this trick. And you're going to have two selections. So unless you have two spectators, each picking a card, make sure you have a piece of paper and a pen nearby for the spectator to write down two cards. Because most spectators won't be able to remember two cards. Now, if you want to remember a card with them and they remember the other card, that's fine. Or if you just want to remember both of them and not tell them that, that's good too. So, in this case, we have 3 of spades, 6 of diamonds. It doesn't matter what card controls you do, but you're going to have to make sure both of them end up at the end on top of the deck. So I did 2 very easy, well, the first one's easy, card control. So the first one I did was I took the 3, I held the deck like this, so my index on top, middle, ring, pinky on the side, and my thumb on the other side. I'm going to use my thumb, contact about half of the deck, and just lift up. Now take this other card and place it in and drop your thumb. I'm going to come over now with this other thumb, not the thumb holding the deck, but your good hand here, non-dominant hand. Push down on the card and push in. When you do that, you'll see you have a big break here. So you can put your pinky in there and drop the break. So now you have a pinky break right above the first selection. So now once I have that break, all I did was I just took about a little quarter of the cards and I lifted them up, but when I dropped them on the table, I turned my hand like this. Okay? So I picked it up, a little quarter, dropped it, but I turned my hand like this, up and down. Came back over, grabbed another little portion, lifted up, dropped my hand like this, and I kept on doing this. So now I come to the break here, so your pinky's here, lift up, drop, okay? And then you're going to drop this half on top. Keep in mind, if you cut it again, you're going to lose their selection in the middle. You don't want that. So you're going to just drop this on top. So if we go over this in normal speed, it looks like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you don't want to do those table cuts, you can do a double undercut. So same setup as before, but now when you put the card in and you push down, you're going to keep it in your thumb like this, so your other hand having a break. So you know the card is right on this half, and this half you don't care about. So all you're going to do is cut all of these cards to the top. Doesn't matter if you do it all at once, or if you take half with your pinky, or your thumb if you want to. It's up to you. And move them to the top, then move the other half to the top. Okay, now it's on top. So if we do that in full speed, it looks like this. And I have a full video on the double undercut, so make sure you check that out. Plus some other card controls I have videos on. But do any card control and just control the card to the top. If you want to do some false cuts, false shuffles, anything. Now all I did was a false overhand shuffle. I have taught this in a lot of videos, so I'm not going to teach it. But I will be making a video for it sometime when I get around to it. So you're going to place this card on top, and you're just going to be doing an overhand shuffle. So I guess I will be teaching it. So if you don't know how to do an overhand shuffle, middle, ring, pinky on top, thumb on the bottom, index right here. Use your thumb to either peel off or the thumb holding the deck. Let go a little of some cards and you'll notice they'll fall out. And your other thumb's going to be coming up and just stripping off cards. And you want some pressure with your other thumb here. So, just like this, and then you just go back and forth, and this is the overhand shuffle. So now, if we have there 6 of diamonds on top, you're going to peel off about, I don't know, quarter to half. Take this next card, and this is how I do it. I learned it where you actually use your thumb to move back that second selection, and then you shuffle. But I like it better when you take this next card and you peel it off. Gonna have it sort of out, or in jogged, not out jogged. Out jogged is like this. So this is in jog. You're gonna use now these other cards to line up with this top half here. But while you're doing this, you want to move your hand back to cover that in jog card. So now you're left like this. So all of these cards you're now gonna have to get rid of. So I come over, push my thumb right up and in. So now you have a break. I will adjust this so you can see it. A break. You know the 2 cards are here. So now you're just going to do the same thing for that overhand shuffle. Now, when you see that break gone, or if your thumb can move freely, you can put those down. And that will control the 2 cards. So I will do that overhand shuffle one more time and then show you what both of them look like combined. So, here's the, overhand shuffle. Controlling both cards. So now let's go over this one more time. You have the first card. Let's say we put in about middle. We give it a few cuts. Now if you want to, you can do some double lifts or whatever to show it's not on top, but it's not necessary. And now we're going to shuffle this card right on in. Just like this. So the end result, you're going to need both cards on top at the end. Not losing either card in the process. So now you made it so you have both cards on top. You're going to go to your helper card. While you're going for the helper card, having the spectator hand you the helper card, you need a break underneath the top card. So when I was reaching over, I just pulled over and pulled back and caught a break. Now normally I would just do a pinky count like that, but because my hand was down, push off was a lot better. Now if you want to, you can put this king on top and then you can riffle up. But make sure you have some misdirection and look at them in the eye, because it is a little weird to be riffling up. Or if you want, you can spread over and show that the cards are face down. Your index finger's on the first card. You square these up with your fingers like this. Put your pinky in and the rest on top of your pinky there. So now you have a pinky break. So you can say... So right here we have our king, and I just caught a break. Put this on top. Now you're going to be doing the shake change. Okay, so I taught the shake change in, I believe it's a color changing video. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. Now I will be making full in-depth videos on all of these moves, but essentially what you're going to do, there's 2 ways you can do this. How normally I learned it the first time was my middle and thumb go on the outside corners like this. And then when you shake your hand, your index finger is going to be pulling the card in towards you, and then you'll be left like this. Now, you see how this is? You're going to have to return your hand to put it back down. So this is why I do it right on the corners here, because then it's good to just put right back down. Play around with it, you'll see what I mean. So you're going to be like this. All you're going to do, now this is the perfect opportunity while you're doing the change to get your next pinky break, okay? Because you're going to get another pinky break anyway. So while you're having them watch the change happen, you can just pull over and come back with the break. Or you can do a pinky count. But essentially, back to the change, you're going to be moving your hand, but when you're moving your hand, your index finger is going to come to the side, and you're going to be pulling the cards in toward you, and then while you're shaking, your finger's going to move back up, and then you're going to stop. The reason is because if you start like this, you shake, and you end like this, well, they might suspect something. But if you start like this, your finger's in the air, you shake, and then you have your finger back in the air, and then you're done shaking, they're really not going to suspect anything. So hopefully that makes sense there. So you're going to be shaking the card, but while you're doing it, you're going to be turning this in towards you. Lift up your finger, stop shaking, and now you have your break loaded. So you can come over and drop these on top. And you can show the 6 like this. Now if you wanted to, you can peel off, but I just leave it like this. Now you're going to be doing the shapeshifter. So I've taught this before too. So now keep in mind what you have here. You have 3 cards here. So you have one of the selections, you have the king, and then you have that other selection. Be changing this first selection into this third selection here, or third card. So what you're going to be doing is coming over, and now, opposite of the shake change, your middle and thumb will be on the corners opposite of the indices here, and your ring and your thumb will be on these other corners where the indices are. Now, I know some people do it with their middle finger, but I like to do it with my ring finger. So you hear that flick? That's essentially what you're doing. You're going to be holding it like this. Your fingers that are opposite of the pips here are just going to be stationary, while your middle and your thumb of the, or your ring finger and your thumb, my bad, of the pips are going to be pulling in, and then they're going to be snapping off, and with enough pressure, it'll turn. Now, you don't want these 2 fingers squeezing on too tight, because if I do that really tight, and then we try to flick it, it might end like that. That's not the prettiest thing. So what you want is not too tight, not too loose. You come over, you're going to apply some pressure down, let go, so just come down all the way with your fingers, and it'll turn. Check out the color change video. I did a whole tutorial thing on this. So you're in the 6, and you're gonna see that could happen where it stops halfway. So make sure you practice it where it'll happen like that. And now you can put it back down. So let's go over those color changes so you can get the rhythm here. So you know you controlled both cards to the top. Okay, so you say now, my king here is going to help us out, because the first thing we're going to do here is if we give the king just a little shake like this, you'll see it, he turns into the 6. Now that's not the only thing. The 6 can now turn into the 3. And now you're left like this. So what do? Well, you're going to have to get a double lift, okay? Because you have 2 cards face up, you have that selection face down, and you want to end with the king. So what can you do? You're going to put these back down, and now if you want, you can riffle up while the spectator is freaking out. Or you can do a pinky count, but personally all I did was just a strike double. I have a whole video on the double lift, so make sure you check out that video. But essentially I come over, I turn over the double lift, and there's a few ways you can end this. You can put down the card and show how it's the king. Or you can do this. So you have your double lift. You turn it, not my best double. Let me try that again. So you have your double. You take it and you slide it in the middle of the deck. And then you can do something like a credit card swipe and show it's the king just like that. And that was the whole video on the trick called Joker's Wild by Disturb Reality. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know what you think about it. Next week, I will be coming out with the last deck review. And then we'll get into some other tutorials and slides and stuff like that. That's it. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the pinned comment down below if you haven't already. that's it, and I will see you guys next time for a new video. Bye.